Team, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are all well. And I'm excited to say that we are currently in the halfway point of my 10-week transformation. So yeah, buzzing because I'm seeing the results, I'm feeling good. And I've got to admit, at the start, it was a little bit slow. So we had to readjust the nutrition, the training, the cardio, but now it seems to be working really well. So we've had another good week of solid results. And you've probably noticed that during these weeks that, you know, the foods that I've been eating haven't been like super boring and super bland. So, and it doesn't have to be. I think a lot of times where people struggle with weight loss is because they eat foods they don't enjoy. And don't get me wrong, sometimes food doesn't always have to taste like a Michelin star restaurant, but it certainly doesn't need to be boring. And if you just have a bit of fun with it, you know, still, if you enjoy wine or the odd pizza or burger, you can still incorporate that into your nutrition plan. You just need to be smart about it, and you need to make sure that you're accounting for those calories into your tracker and into your weekly average. So why don't we dive into the computer and let me show you this week's results. Okay guys, let's have a quick look at the results from this week. So progress. Let's start up the top with body weight. So another big drop, not as much as last week, 83.8 1st of Feb to 82.5. That was a big drop. And this week from 82.5 to 81.3. So not bad at all. So what's this? So almost 1 kilo. That's a good drop in a week. So that's looking awesome. Body fat percentage from 82.2 to 17.8. Pretty cool. Things seem to be working. Let's look at the measurements. So neck is slowly starting to come down. So this indicates that I'm probably now losing just a little bit of muscle in such a big deficit, which is absolutely normal. Chest. Again, this was where I was struggling with kind of dropping body fat, and my calories were probably at net. So that's why we saw an increase in chest, and also started the program quite normal. But now a deficit would indicate that, you know, your chest will eventually start to get a little bit smaller, more defined, more toned, but just a little bit smaller. So that's normal. Left bicep, that looks good. I obviously hold on to muscle a bit more in my arms, which is great. And then waist. This is the big indicator of body fat, especially for guys, is that waist measurement, that midsection. So last week, 83.5, and now 82.5, 1 centimeter, bang on. So that's awesome, really good. So things are really working. We're halfway through the program. So at this sort of rate, let's have a look at the body fat percentage again. So where was I? 21.5, and now currently 17.8. So that's kind of in a region of, what's that? About 4% body fat in 5 weeks. So that's pretty good. So now I normally find that with myself, with clients, you always get your better results towards the back end of the program, because that's when you know what works. You've optimized training, you've optimized nutrition, and you can really push down on the accelerator with things that are currently working if you want to. So it's like everyone has a different formula. I've now figured out what works for me. So if in 2 weeks time, I just want to push a little bit more, then I know exactly what I need to do. So I always say at the back end of a transformation, that's when you see the biggest results. All right, guys. So let's have a look at the week in general. From last week, I'm not sure why I didn't tick this off. I did complete that. So let me just enter this as a complete. Now, regarding HIIT training, I'll talk to you in a second about that, but I think we might actually change that approach. But again, struggling to hit 8,000 steps every day. I didn't at the weekend, I mean, for whatever reason. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was fine. Today, I'll obviously hit it as well. And we've got chest later. Haven't missed a session, which is good. I'm feeling, on some days, I feel quite rested, on other days I don't. And I think that's due, well, 2 reasons really, twofold. So one, calories are just low, so you're going to feel tired. But also, I don't think the HIIT training at this moment in time is probably the best cardio that I should be doing. So I think I'm going to switch that to more of a low intensity. And I'll tell you why. HIIT training puts a lot of stress on your central nervous system. It really does. And that's just another layer of stress that I'm adding to my body when I'm already in aggressive deficit. And I'm feeling that with my HIIT sessions, although I'm giving it my all, the performance isn't great. You know, I'm really haven't got the energy to be really pushing through those HIIT sessions. And what I'm finding is that I'm actually becoming quite a bit more fatigued after doing HIIT training. And during this program, I need to be prioritizing weights because that's what's going to retain muscle. If I just done a load of cardio, no weight session, no resistance training, guess what? I would just become kind of like skinny fat, right? I'd lose body weight, I'd lose fat, but I'd lose a ton of muscle as well. So the way that you can protect the muscle that you already have during a cut is to A, make sure you're consuming enough protein, and B, make sure, well, threefold, sorry, let's take that back. A, don't go into too much of an aggressive deficit. B, make sure you consume enough protein. And C, make sure that you're lifting weights. Those are the three things that are going to protect your muscle during a cut. So because I need to prioritize the weight training and the HIIT is just making me too fatigued, you know, it's putting too much stress on my CNS, which is central nervous system, and I'm just feeling that I'm not recovering. And even after a recovery day, on this push session, for example, I'm just feeling a little bit tired still. So I'm going to change the HIIT for low intensity, and I'll go for like an extra 45-minute walk or something. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, look, I think other than that, let's look at nutrition. Things are going pretty well. We're getting the results. So now, and I can feel it, I can see it in the gym. I'm a lot more vascular. My clothes fit a lot different. Where are we looking at? Nutrition here. Right, it's a little bit all over the shop really. So, I mean, it was a little bit over on this day, not by much, 19.26. I hit my target here. This day I was actually under, so that and that kind of counterbalances each other. Again, just slightly up here again. I mean, look guys, this works, but it's not ideal. But on days that I slightly overeat, the next day I slightly undereat. So the average probably ends up being somewhere along the middle here anyway. So yeah, things are looking good here. Protein. Now, I know why this is not showing as yellow. Yellow means that I've hit my goal or within these two lines, because there are some meals that on the app that I'm using, MyFitnessPal, if you are just inputting something manually, then, I mean, look, you can have the paid version, which I think is like, I mean, it's not cheap. I think it's like £15 a month, and it all adds up, right? And with the paid version, when you add calories, you can also add the breakdown of those calories. So sometimes I'm having a meal that's like I'm buying it from the gym or something, and all I'm doing is I'm inputting the calorie value, not the protein. So it's not marking as I'm hit my protein goal, but I know I have. Okay, so carbs, again, goal is 1, 2, 3. Currently at, yeah, that's all fine. Fats, I never go under on fats or over. I quite enjoy having a high fat diet. And then here's the distribution of the macros. So proteins in green, carbs in blue, and fats in red. So as you can see, nice distribution here, 30, 30, 40, roughly speaking. So that's working really well. Now, the key word, the key thing here is momentum. Is being consistent, making sure I stay injury free, making sure I do a really good warm up before my session, I stretch, I'm sleeping well. It's just making sure that we're doing all the work on the side to make sure that I can just keep going at this pace, because the more aggressive I go with the calorie deficit, the more stress that's going to add to my body, the higher the risk of injury. And then that just messes everything up. So it's really important that you look after things like your sleep, your recovery, the more, especially when you're going through a really aggressive fat loss phase. So guys, we're halfway through. Excited, lost 4% body fat. How much weight have I actually lost? 4 or 5% body fat. Total body weight from 84. Yeah, so about 3 kilos roughly speaking. But again, I know that towards the back end of this program, that's where, to be honest, my goal is only 79 anyway. So as long as so my fat mass, that's come right down. So I used to have 18 kilos of pure body fat. Now I've got 14. So I reckon I'll end up at about maybe 11 or 10 if we really push it. Cool, awesome. So you know the drill, right? I'm gonna have a quick coffee and then I'll see you at the gym for a push session. Guys, good morning. Welcome to a new day. So it's Friday, feeling pretty good energy levels, feeling fairly motivated. I think when you see results, you know, energy and motivation is always going to be at an all-time high. So that's going really well. And I just wanted to come on here very quickly to talk about something which I know a lot of people do struggle with when it comes to following a weight loss plan that they just can't seem to stick with for too long due to like not sticking to the plan or the calories when they go out for a meal. So tonight's date night, we're gonna go out for dinner and I'm just gonna share with you how I navigate this situation because I don't want my personal life to be affected by what I'm trying to achieve with regards to like my health, my fitness goals. So you just have to be a little bit smart about how you navigate this situation, right? So a few things that I would look at if you're someone who enjoys to eat out and you want to have, maybe you're out with clients for lunch, or maybe you just want to go out with your friends, have some beers, or with your partner. And basically it just requires a little bit of prep and a bit of work beforehand. So for tonight, my girlfriend and I, we really enjoy kind of like Turkish food. So we're going to a really nice Turkish restaurant. And the great thing about that sort of food is that you can eat very high protein, quite high carb, but low fat. And with that in mind, it just means that I can have more volume of food because, as you know, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9. So if your calories are fairly restricted, it makes sense that you follow a bit more of a high protein, high carb diet and keep fats low, right? So I chose this restaurant because A, we both enjoy Turkish food, and B, it's a load of meat with a load of salads and also probably some plain rice. Now, what I always like to do as well is on days that I know I'm gonna overeat, or not overeat, but eat more calories in the evening due to a dinner, or if this was, in this case, if it was like a lunch, for example, then I would just be smart with my calories for the rest of that day. So for example, this morning, I've had my oats because I'm about to train legs, I've had my eggs, but instead of going for 3 egg yolks where they contain the most calories because that's where the fat is, I just had 1. So my breakfast wasn't as calorific as it normally would be. I've still got carbs in there, which will allow me to perform in the gym, but it's just not as heavy and not as calorific as a normal day. I'm going to then have lunch. I'm going to have a super light lunch. Maybe I'll have like a salad, a tuna salad, which is, you know, not very caloric at all. I'll have a protein shake, and that means that I've then got roughly about 800 calories left for dinner. So this way you're able to go out, you know, have some food with your loved ones or your friends or family, or even like or with work, and not let it be detrimental to your goals and what you're working towards. So it's just a little bit of work. You just need to think about, you know, if you've got choices within food, what food to pick. Like, for example, having a steak is going to be a lot better than having, like, say, I don't know, a pizza, for example. A lot, not so much that the calories are a lot less in a steak. There would be, depending on what you have on a pizza, but the protein is simply going to fill you up a lot more, right? So be smart with your choices. Make sure that you are choosing restaurants, if you can, that are going to kind of complement your nutritional requirements, which in my case, I'm looking for high protein and high carb. And then just bank your calories for that evening. That's what I've done. So, and then that way you can kind of still not let it kind of mess up your routine and your goals. And I know that sometimes when people eat out a lot, then they find it difficult to lose weight because of that. Because don't forget, restaurants just want food to taste good, right? So they're going to load it with fat, they're going to load it with carbs, and because they want the food to taste good and for the clients to come back. So just be aware of that. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that little hack with you. It's, you know, we go out for dinner maybe once or twice a week. Well, actually at the moment, a little bit less because of Leo. But yeah, just navigate it that way. Bank your calories for that meal. Have less calories throughout the day. But I still made sure my breakfast was good because I'm gonna train legs, and that's gonna be a tough session. So anyway, I'm not gonna film legs today because you've probably had enough of me filming. But yeah, let's catch up a bit later today, and I might get some snaps in the restaurant when I'll show you what I'll be eating. All right, guys, so just got back from the gym. Why is it legs is always such a killer of a session? And when you're running low on fumes and on calories, man, it is not pleasant. But anyway, so had to pop into the shops to buy just some extra bits for lunch because, as I mentioned, I've had my protein shake after training, and now I'm gonna have a salad because it's quite easy to put together. And also I'm gonna make sure that I have low carbs, low fat, but high protein for that salad. And that gives me, I've already calculated it, roughly about 700 calories for dinner this evening, which is great. And I might have one drink as well, see how I feel. But let me show you what we are cooking for lunch. So picked up some of this salad. So that's obviously no calories. And then I've got myself this tuna as well. Now, when buying tuna, make sure you buy the one that's in either brine or spring water. So this is around, I think, 30 grams of protein in this. And then I've also got some prawns. These are really good to have because they're super low calorie and they don't have like super high amounts of protein. But so in this here, we've got 15 grams just to add to the salad. So it's a little bit more substantial. And then a couple of olives, you know, again, not very calorific. The black ones tend to have more calories than the white ones, sorry, green ones. But yeah, quite enjoy these. And then I'll just have some extra veggies, like some, let's have a look. I'll have some capers. I'll add some capers to the salad. It's quite nice as well. Goes really well with tuna. I will also add some lovely plum tomatoes, cucumber. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will have my lunch at around 4 o'clock. Oh, here's another hack. Make sure this is what I do and it works for me. The worst thing you can do is go to a restaurant absolutely starving, because when you sit down, I guarantee you that you will not have the willpower to resist all of that delicious food. So I actually like to have a meal about maybe 3 hours before going out to dinner, so I don't approach dinner super hungry. So that's a good little hack. So I'm gonna have this at around 4 because we have dinner at 8. So that means I'll have, you know, a bit of a gap, but not enough to make me absolutely starving. And I've done that mistake before. When you're sat there tired and you're just hungry and when you can smell all this delicious food, it's very hard to say no. So yeah, that's a good little hack for you guys to try. So the morning after the night before, that was a lot of fun, but I'll tell you something, I have definitely lost practice with going out until late, drinking, and having to wake up at 5 o'clock to feed a little baby. Oh God, I'm not feeling my freshest this morning, that's for sure. So yeah, look, last night was fun. I only had one drink, I only had a margarita. I don't know, I looked at the menu and just fancied it. Drunk water the rest of the evening. Food was really good, but I'll tell you what, it's a real challenge when your calories are low and you're hungry and you end up going to a restaurant where the food just tastes and looks delicious. So the calories were a bit more than expected, but that's fine because I'll just readjust today. I'll have a bit lower calories today and tomorrow, so that, you know, it's the weekly average that kind of counts. So that's absolutely fine. So yeah, it was good fun to be out, get dressed up again nicely, which I know it's the simple things in life, but it just kind of makes you feel good, really. Dressing up and putting on some cologne and having fun. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to readjust the macros, so that will all be kind of taken care of. And sometimes you just have to play it by ear a little bit. You know, it's always good. I think Mike Tyson said it really well. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Now, I didn't get punched in the face at dinner, but I think when you're tested with, you know, food and calories, when you're really hungry, then I find it's just easier to just not be in that or be in that environment or situation too often, because it's just going to be hard, you know, to tell you the truth, to say no. Although it wasn't a car crash, there was definitely more calories than I was expecting. But anyway, all good. So guys, that's all we've got time for this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on Wednesday.